Well, are you ready for some unindoctrination? I hope you are. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome to the channel. We are here with one strong and constant message that you are divine, you're sovereign, you're free, you don't have original sin, you have the spark of divinity within, you don't need salvation, so you don't have to go to somebody else's savior on bended knee. And we're also here to teach you how to unindoctrinate yourself. That's where it begins, but we take it much further than that. And folks, we got a new sponsor now. We got the conspiracy tees. I don't know if you can hear me. We have our own t-shirts that are being done for us, including this super duper brand new redesigned plastic Jesus t-shirt. You can see on the screen below how you go to it. It's through My Conspiracy Tees. We have several shirts there that I've designed that you can get a hold of. But you can wear the shirts that I wear. You get them for a great price, and it helps out the Christian Whistleblower. So go to myconspiracytees.com/thechristianwhistleblower, or you can just go to my website. And even on the front, you see Plastic Jesus. There he is. You see Plastic Jesus, just click on that. Or Plastic HERU, sorry. And that'll take you right to the website. So great stuff, powerful stuff. It's going to be fun. And our first segment brought to you by my friends at Master J Kebab. That's right. Taking you to, brought to you by my friends at My Conspiracy Tees. Now, I want to talk to you today about something that's very important. It's very foundational, and some of you that have been with me for a long time know this, and others of you that are new don't know this. And it's one of the things that I get asked probably more often than almost anything else. Jeff, you always say we're divine, we're sovereign, you're free. That's blasphemy. Only God is divine, sovereign, and free. How can you say that? Well, I say it by proving it right from your AHAK, because your AHAK, your B-BLE, is written to keep you enslaved within a fear and guilt control matrix. And it's working pretty doggone well. And what I'm here today is to show you that your very own AHAK, it is designed to keep you enslaved, but because of a thing called natural law, and because of a thing called plausible deniability, and because of some crazy code that these people seem to think they have to follow, they put things into the code that show reality, that shows what's really true, and shows you in your cage is hidden keys to the way out. But that's why it's a gilded cage, so you don't look for the keys. But we're going to show you some of these keys today. And I thought that in these times where we're going through a lot of stress, even if you're not buying it, you're still living in stressful times. Even if you're not giving into it, you're still living in stressful times, and we are still living in stressful times, folks. And I thought it'd be great for us to understand and to be reminded, and some of you that are new to the show, to learn that John chapter 1 proves you're born divine, sovereign, and free, and not with original sin. It's so simple. It's so easy. It's so plain. And yet within this, it's just a few verses, but it contains everything we need to set ourselves free and manifest the life that we're here to manifest. And it shows us why cross-clinger religion has failed and continues to fail. And it shows us why it will continue to fail. And it shows you why cross-clinging doesn't work for you. It doesn't work individually, and it doesn't work collectively. Jeff, why do you have to say things like cross-clinging? That's offensive. Well, it's also very, very intentional. And it's not just to upset you, although I do like to upset you, and here's why. I've made the illusion a couple of times where when someone is delusional, they're going crazy. What do you have to do sometimes to get them to come around? You got to slap them, right? So sometimes I have to rhetorically slap you. No, I prefer to give you a gentle nudge, but every now and then a rhetorical namaste slap is a bonus, in my opinion. And yet it's very, very sound mind, mental and the way your mind works, thought, because we are studying over on our Create Yourself channel. We got to get more into that. I've gotten a little bit behind. You have a reactive mind, and your reactive mind is always on, and it's the mind that is your reptilian mind, and it jumps up and takes over your analytical mind. So if I say words like CHRISTIAN, if I say those out loud, those are reactive word minds. And this like an alien, it rears up in your head. And you can't think or hear anything beyond that because it's a tape that starts running. And it is what you are, and it is a knee-jerk reaction. So but when I say something like cross-clinger, not only does it not stimulate your reactive mind, but it does a really cool thing. Your analytical mind it can be tweaked. Your analytical mind almost has a reactive mind. What it allows me to do is called pattern interrupt you. You come here thinking you're a Christian and you know it all and you're saved and on your way to salvation. And all of a sudden I say cross-clinger, and you're like, what? It interrupts that pattern. It interrupts the fluffy white clouds and the harps and the rainbows. And it gets your attention. That's why I do it. Plus, it's a lot of fun. It really is. It really is. I admit it. So that's why, just a little peek behind the curtains of why I do what I do. And John 1 proves, folks, that you were born with original sin, that you were born with the spark of divinity within, not with original sin. And it shows how you make your life work, and it shows why cross-clinging won't work. So let's dive into this, and it's a very, very powerful look into the fear and guilt control matrix and what drives it and what keeps it working the way that it works. You can see here where I'm going, and we will go right to the text so you can see it from there, so you don't have to take my word for it. I'm not going to do this quite as much maybe in the future. I'll give you most of it, but I'm going to let you have to go for some of it because I don't want to spoon feed everybody into everything. I want you to work, and I want you to develop yourself and develop skills yourself. Now, can be helpful. This is the interlinear. It shows the Greek. Then it shows how it's written in literal English. We may use that a little bit at some point, but I don't really want to go there right now. What I want to do is go to the King James because everybody believes it, right? And we'll go in here, which switches us to another version, but that's all right because we're going to just focus on a few things like this. In the beginning, what are we talking about here, folks? We're talking about in the very origins, in the very beginning, and right at the very beginning of everything. That's what I'm talking about. The very beginning of who you are, the very beginning of what you are, the very beginning of your existence as a being, and more importantly, the beginning of your sovereignty, divinity, and freedom as a being, the beginning of you understanding who and what you are. And really, sorry, it's the beginning of your responsibility for your own divinity, sovereignty, and freedom. Right now, a lot of you are in the land of ignorance. You don't know. And it's kind of your fault because you should, but you don't. But you're here, and now you will. But this is where responsibility begins. Right here. This is the beginning of your responsibility. And you have to realize that it's like the Princess Bride. I don't think that word means what you think it means because they don't. So in the beginning was the word. Well, what's the word? Oh, that's Jebus. That's HERU. That's the guy in your shirt, but not really. No, it's not. You just think it is because they've told you that. In the beginning was what? Oh, but Jeff, it's capitalized, not in the real Greek, brah. No capitalization. But anyway, in the beginning was this thing called the word. Well, what is that? It's logos. See, that's Jebus, that's HERU. No, they just tell you that's HERU. What is logos? It's a word. Oh, it's a statement. It's a speech. It is statement and speech, utterance, embodying an idea. An idea. Ooh, great. Dyer says, Cross clingers don't move forward. They get nailed to the cross too. Oh, that's so perfect. They're stuck in a static relationship. But it's not Jebus. It's not HERU. It's word. It's speech. It literally is word. In the beginning, at the beginning, is your mouth. But not just your mouth, because you make words with your mouth, right? Your tongue. Don't get technical on me. You make words with your face, but you also take in words with your ears. So we're going to broaden your understanding. It's not just what you're saying, but it's also and not just what you're hearing, because you can hear and not listen, but it's what you listen to. So at the beginning of everything that is you and everything that you is going to be is words, logos, utterances. Either ones you speak or ones you listen to and accept. So in the beginning is this word, talking, just talking, speech. In the beginning was speech. And speech, same word, is with. What does with mean? It means it's right there. It's towards it. It's with it. The word is really meaning as close as you can get to being something without being that thing. Like my son, well, that's not even a great analogy. It's just maybe identical twins. They're as close as they could get to being the same thing, but they're not the same thing. And the idea that it's getting you to realize is that at the beginning and in every beginning of everything that you are or do, there is speech. And that speech is really indistinguishable from what? No, not the rat bastard, the Mon, the God, the Bible, but divinity generally. Just general divinity. It's not your God, my God, their God. It's just and I said the word M-O-N, it's just a divinity. So really, if we're reading this with objective eyes, at the beginning of everything is speech, and speech is divine. Speech is divine. It says it twice. So everything that you do and you are and that you be and that you will be comes through, is manifest through speech. The origin, the very beginning of every logos, word, speech, divine utterance, it all starts with the words you say and listen to. And it was God. It is divine. It has creative power. Both the words you speak have creative power, and the words you allow to come into your mind with intent listening, those also have creative power. It is speech embodied divinity, speaking into existence. Remember, we talked about that the other day. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for. It's the proof of things not yet seen. Your speech is going to happen. Everything you see has happened through speech, and we'll get to that. Creative speech is the embodiment of divinity or divine energy. What you say, what you listen to. That's the way it's been from the beginning. And at the beginning of everything, every change, every do that you do, it all comes back down to the word, the logos, speech. That's at the key and at the beginning of every single thing, and you can't get around it. And we're going to show you right here that you can't get around it. And you really can't get around the fact that MISTAC, folks, the bracelets that I wear, the jewelry that I wear, it is one of the most profound spiritual technologies that's ever been delivered to this earth. That's why I'm so glad to work with Halo on the MISTAC. And it will put you at the original Schumann resonance. It will keep you, ladies and gentlemen, at that resonance. It makes your blood work perfectly. It makes your subtle body, your energetic body work perfectly. And it frees you from the ravages of EMFs. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the MISTAC logo. You get a full 20% off. Now let's look at John 1:1 here again. We're looking still in the first chapter of the book of John. I want to go back to the text and show you this because it's so powerful for you to see and to understand that I'm not just whistling Dixie. I'm talking about reality here, folks, stuff that really makes a difference in your world, things that will really make a difference in your life. So here we are, through him. Who's him? We're talking about the logos. They're personifying language because it really is living. They're personifying your words. Through your words, all things were made. What does made mean? Made means came into being. Through everything you see, sitting on, looking on, touching, tasting, it all came into being through speech. Through your words, through your logos, all things are made. All things come into being. And without logos, we know who's him? Well, Jeff, why do you say him as logos? Because remember, we're talking about the Word. In the beginning was the Word. Word was with God. Word was God. He was with God at the beginning. Through him, who's him? The Word. Everything that's been made has been made. And there's not one thing that has been made that has not been made without the dynamic of speech. What you say and listen to has creative power in your life, and it will come into being. You bring things into being via what you speak and what you listen to. Always, every time you speak something, something's created. Every time you listen to something that comes in your mind, something's created, ladies and gentlemen. Something is created. It just is that way. Isn't that amazing? I want to show you something that's even more amazing. Let's move on now to the next part of this part in the script. Watch this. In him, again, who's him? Logos. In Logos was life. What does life mean? I said, what does life mean? And we wait for Bible Hub to work. Let's stop it and see if it'll start again. What does life mean? Oh boy. Isn't it just here we go. What does life mean? Life means life. And I don't really like their commentary, but it really means all life throughout the universe, both physical and spiritual. So all life, everything, whether you're talking about this world or the next, it all again comes back to Logos. And that life, that what we just saw again, that Zoe, that life, no matter what kind of life you're talking about, it is the light. What does light mean? It's the phos. It's the source of light and radiance in all of mankind. Pure Logos. Pure Logos, your creative Logos, your creative word is the light of all mankind. It's the light. And everything that comes from Logos is light, and all light, Logos light, will bring shining things. It'll bring balance. It'll bring harmony. It'll bring good. It'll bring balance. Forget good, bad. It'll bring balance. So amazing. So amazing. In the Logos is the life, and that life is the light of your life. So really, if you don't like your life, change your words. If you don't like your life, change what you're saying. If you don't like your life, change what you're allowing yourself to listen to and focus on, and it will change. And I'll show you why what you have isn't light here in just a second. I'll show you why what you have isn't light here in just a second. I think I got my slides out of order here. I did get my slides out of order. That's okay. That's okay. I want to show you this because this is really important. I want you to be able to see this and understand it. It's broken down very simply here. Cynthia came in to warn me that I had a show, and I was still going through it because it's very, very deep stuff. So anyway, him, the logos, it doesn't mean him. Well, Jeff, it says him. No, it doesn't mean him. And I'll show you it doesn't mean him. I've got to show you because you won't believe me if I don't show you. It doesn't mean him. The word doesn't mean him. The translators just wrote him because they're trying to deceive you. The word does not mean him. The word means he, she, it, third person, he, she, them, they. It means it doesn't mean a him. It's not talking about Jeebus here. It is not talking about Jeebus here. You got to get beyond that. The only thing that says it's talking about Jeebus is the people that taught you that. It's not true. It's not real, and it's holding you back. He, she, it, they, them, the people you listen to, the words you speak. They're the light, the phos, the logos in your life. But not only in your life, even at the beginning, because you remember at the beginning? Because it said next, it says, in him, the light shines in darkness. Let me show you this verse. We'll show you this part of the text so you can see where I'm at. The light shines in darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I know King James says comprehended, but the word means overcome. It's right there. It has not overcome it. So think back to the beginning when you're thinking about the book of Genesis. It was just dark, right? And then what happened? Divinity said, let there be light, and there was light. So what happened? The light shined in darkness. But there was light before that, so don't get all caught up in it was darkness first. That's just stupid. That's a lack of studiousness. But anyway, we're not talking about that. From the time where it was dark, light shined in darkness. And what happened? Light shined in darkness, and things started happening, right? Things started being created. And from then till now, light shone in darkness, and the darkness could not, look at what the word means, couldn't lay hold of it, couldn't seize it, couldn't arrest it, couldn't catch it, couldn't overtake it. Balanced words of divine creation, your words are light, and no darkness can stand against them. But right now, a lot of you have a mixed bag of logos. You got your logos, and you got other people's logos all mixed up, and it's not working because you got light and darkness working, and they're not working together because your darkness will not be able to overcome your light, but it doesn't mean it won't stop trying. So the light, your logos, and I'm going to define this for you in just a second, shined in the darkness. Remember at the beginning? It was all dark, and light came along, and from the time that light came until now, darkness has not yet been able to overcome it. And I'm here today to tell you that it doesn't matter how long this goes on, darkness will never, ever be able to overcome light. Because darkness is unbalanced, light is balanced, and unbalanced will never, ever be able to overtake imbalance. But it does distract us from time to time. And that's the whole summation of Genesis 1, where it was dark and then light came, and here's everything that we got. Light appeared in darkness. Darkness hasn't overcome it yet, and darkness never will overcome it. Now, I think I need to go back one from where I was to get to where we need to be. Yes. So let's look at this one. This is a really good one. And this is going to start answering all of your questions. This is going to start answering all of your questions, ladies and gentlemen. This is so powerful. I can't wait to share this with you. I want to get here to where I can show it to you word for word. Watch this. This is amazing. The logos is the light that gives light, true light, to every single person that comes into this world, every single entity that comes into this system. So we'll talk about that too here in just a second. Watch this. I'm going to show you this because this will give you hope. And Christians or cross-clingers, this is where you see that you're not born of the original sin. You got the spark of divinity within. Whether you like it or not, cross-clingers. True light, true, folks. The true light, the real light, the genuine light. Not some fake light. Not, oh, the light. No, the real light, the real thing, the genuine article. True enlightenment. True what? Radiance, light, manifestation. True enlightenment. True light. The true light, folks. Again, look. I went back too far. The true light. The light, the real light, the genuine light. What does it do? It gives light too. It gives light. It shines light. It illumines. It enlightens. This real light, this real true light, gives light. Jeff, why do you repeat? Because you're stupid. And I got to repeat so you get it. This real light gives light. Who does it give light to? It gives light to every, all the whole, every single damn one. Every single damn what? Every single damn man, woman, boy, girl, cousin of all ages. Every single one of the human race, but also not just mankind, but any kind of a people, any kind of an entity. Listen to that. Any type of an entity that comes into this realm gets exposed to this true enlightenment message. When? As soon as they come. Oh, here's a great time to use the interlinear. Watch this. Watch this. The true light, not a fake light, not a false light, because they knew what some of you would say. The true light enlightens every man. When he's coming into the world. What does coming mean? It means to come. As soon as you come into the world. When do you come into this world? You come into this world when you come out of your mama and you go, when you take that first breath. When you come into the world, you take that first breath, you're in the world. You've come into the world. And guess what comes with that first breath? According to the B-BLE, according to the AHAK, what comes with that first breath? Ladies and gentlemen, what comes with that first breath? Enlightenment. Enlightenment comes with the very first breath when you enter into the world. But wait a second. The church tells me that I'm born with original sin. Wait a second. My YouTube guru tells me that I'm sinner and I got to be saved. My YouTube guru tells me I'm empty and I got to be filled. My YouTube guru tells me that I'm a sinner and I got to have a savior and I got to have entities into my heart named Jeebus and Big Daddy if I want to be okay. And they say they're telling me from the AHAK, but that's not what it says. You got to get to the place where you don't give a damn what anybody says. You got to get to the place where you don't give a damn what anybody thinks or anybody believes. You got to get to the place where you're saying, oh, it's right there in the script. It's right there in the thing that they say they're teaching me from, but they're lying to me. They're lying to me. The true, the light true, the true light, the Jalan true, if you ever watch Star Trek, the true light enlightens every damn person. As soon as they come into the world, you take that deep breath. You are filled with enlightenment. So, is there a lot of aliens coming into our system? Is there a lot of demons coming into our system? Is there a lot of Anunnakis coming into our system? Well, if there are, Some of them are getting straightened out. Because every being that comes into our system gets this message of enlightenment, gets this download of what works best, this divine download. So some of them are going to get that and they're going to say, oh, that makes sense. I think I'll do that. So next time you start telling me about the Pleiadians and the Draconians and the Taigetans and the Shmagotans, keep that part in mind. Folks, that proves forever from the AHAK itself that the true Logos light shines and enlightens every single person as soon as they enter into this ordered system. Jeff, why are you saying this ordered system? Well, I'm saying this ordered system because that's what the text says, where it says world. And I'll show you where it says world coming into this world. See, it's Cosmon, and that's not Kramer from Seinfeld. It's this world, this order, this universe, this worldly affairs. Every time something comes into this world order, this system, they get this download of the great message of enlightenment. Pretty wow, huh? Pretty wow, huh? So we've just proven to you that you don't have original sin. You got the spark of divinity within. But just that, you need more. And I'm going to give you a little more. I'm going to give you a little more. And if you want a little more help being able to understand this stuff, go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the fluffy logo. It's High Consciousness on Demand. You get a 30-day free trial, but just go ahead and get it. It's really good. It exposes you and puts you in a high consciousness environment, and you can't lose being in a high consciousness environment. Now, watch what's coming next with this. This is so important. We just did this because I got them out of order. All right. Remember last week we were talking about how the cross-clingers willingly restrain their logos, their creative power. Here's why, and here's how that you restrain your logos, how you restrain your own creative power. By making your logos their logos. What does that mean? That means by instead of knowing your own divinity, your own sovereignty, your own freedom, and speaking forth your own words of creation, you start speaking forth another person's words of creation. Like prophecy. Oh, I know that this is going to happen and that is going to happen, and I'm speaking it into existence, but they're not your words. And when you speak into existence words from other people or other writers, you are not in balance. You're not speaking true logos. And you've allowed your logos, your creation, to be hijacked by somebody else's plan. You made somebody else's logos your logos. And your creative logos is unbalanced. The logos of others is unbalanced to you. Doesn't matter if it's your mamas, your brothers, your sisters, your wives, your aunties. It's unbalanced if it ain't yours. You want proof that it's unbalanced? Billions of people for 2,000 years have been manifesting the logos of the B-I-B-L-E G-O-D, and in 2,000 years, ain't none of that shit happen. We still sit and wait. Jeebus done been coming for 2,000 years, bitch, still ain't showed up. How long does he think I'm going to wait on him? Come on. Think about it. Why? Well, number one, he ain't real. It's hard for somebody that ain't real to show up. Even if billions of people think he's real, it's hard for him to show up. You're manifesting somebody else's logos. That's why you've been manifesting the logos of the AHAK Mon for 2,000 years and still ain't nothing created. And yet, here we are. We've been manifesting what we say for about 4 years now. And after just a few years, we're seeing miraculous thing after miraculous thing happen. Everything that we say is going to happen does happen. Have you listened to some of the podcasts lately? We're winning. We won twice just yesterday. That's called manifesting your world into existence. We did more yesterday than y'all have done in 2,000 years. What about that? Oh, you don't like direct talk? No, you like being played for a fool for 2,000 years. I'm just telling you the truth. Unbalanced manifestation will never manifest. It's unbalanced because the words you're trying to manifest, they're not your words. They're not your intention. They're somebody else's. I don't care what book that you pick up. If you're trying to manifest the B-I-B-L-E, the Quran, the Old Testament, if you're trying to manifest the Bhagavad Gita, if you're trying to manifest the Nag Hammadi, if you're trying to manifest the Azra Mazda, I don't care what, if you're trying to manifest Twilight, it's not going to work. It's not your creation. It's not your organic manifestation. It's unbalanced because it's the words of another. It's not your intention. And it's been 2,000 years and NOTHING. Nothing. Not one thing has been manifested in reality in this world. Nothing. And now it's facing opposition like it's never faced before. And it's hindered even more. And we're just getting started hindering your unbalanced, broke-ass manifestation. And ours is ours, and it's organic, and it's true logos, it's pure logos, and we're kicking your ass. And we're just getting started. I'm here to tell you, cross-clingers, your manifestation will never happen now due to our counter manifestation. Your manifestation hadn't worked for 2,000 years without opposition. How well do you think it's going to work with opposition? Yeah, that's right. You probably rode the short bus of this podcast, but you can figure that one out. The only way the AHAK manifestation, the only way that AHAK prophecy can happen now is if a timeline branch were to be created. But I'm very dubious to that possibility. Because if y'all bitches haven't been able to manifest your world for 2,000 years, why would I think you're going to be able to manifest a timeline branch now? You had most of the population doing your manifestation, and you couldn't make it happen because you can't make other people manifest your shit. Doesn't work that way. Not when you got real people manifesting their real stuff. Maybe sheer numbers at some point would do it. Maybe sheer numbers of people manifesting the same bullshit would create a bullshit timeline. I don't know, maybe. But even if it did, even if an unbalanced manifestation created an unbalanced timeline, it would be an unsustainable one. It would quickly collapse. Bottom line, cross-clinging is a losing game. Let's say that you're a really good player in football. You're a great player in football, but you've been stuck on the Cleveland Browns forever. You're like the best football player there can be, but you're on the Cleveland Browns, so you're getting your ass handed to you every single week. That's what it's like being a cross-clinger. You're supposedly the best. You're supposedly the smartest. You're supposedly the prettiest. You're supposedly the this and that. And for 2,000 years, you've been waiting on a bitch who ain't showed up. You're Delta Dawn. Remember Delta Dawn, that old song? Delta Dawn. Is that a flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose from years gone by? Didn't I hear you say he was a meeting you here today to take you to his mansion in the sky. In her younger days, they called her Delta Dawn. She was the prettiest girl you ever did lay his eyes on. But she got sweet talked by some bitch, and she been waiting on that bitch, and that bitch ain't coming back. Don't be Delta Dawn. Take off that old jaded, rotten, faded, wilted rose. The rose of Sharon. I'm Sharon with you. Bitch ain't coming back. He ain't come back in 2,000 years. He ain't going to come back now. Bunch of Delta Dawn cross-clinging dummies. Cross-clinging's a losing game. There's 2,000 years of proof. 2,000 years of proof. I've proven to you that you don't have original sin. That's the bottom line teaching of the whole cross-clinging religion. That's why they got a cross. That's why you cling to it, because you got to have that cross to get over your original sin. You got to have that cross so he can save you from the sin he gave you that you don't have. And I just told you don't have it. And now you know why your life isn't working, because you're trying to manifest somebody else's stuff. And your life won't be real until it's real, until you discover what you are and who you are, until you discover what your divine, sovereign, free reason for being, great basic purpose in this bitch is. And then you'll be unstoppable. You'll be phenomenal. All of a sudden, in less than 3 years, you'll have 8 million people listening to you. What? You don't have original sin. You got the spark of divinity within. You had the download of enlightenment when you took your first breath. They told you had sin when you took your first breath. They lied. Their own book shows you had enlightenment from the second you drew your breath. Now you know. What will you do with it? Now you know. What will you do with it? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. Somebody who's watching Young Pharaoh, good choice. How do we unindoctrinate anti-theists? Don't even try. You are at a place right now, Brandon, where we really have to begin to look at and to understand where we are in relation to who we're talking to. And we have to really begin to do a true, real, energetic expenditure report every time we start talking to somebody, every time we start dealing with somebody. Is the energy that it's going to take to get this person dialed in worth it or not? Or should I conserve my energy and use it in other places? That's the answer and the problem that I face now every single day. And bottom line, some of you just ain't worth it anymore, and I'm moving on. And you just got to. Sometimes you got to fish and cut. Sometimes you got to fish. Sometimes you cut bait. And guess what? It's not your job anyway. And you can't get attached to and I'm speaking from experience, you can't get attached to the result. You're the mailman. Drop the mail off and go to the next box. That's the way it works. That's the way it works, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it works. And that's the only way it works. Plastique HERU blowing away the lies, says Imaginary. Man, boom. I love it. I love it. The tale says HERU sat with those considered undesirable. Okay. Let's see. Let's get down into some stuff. Woke is a version of cross-clinging. Thank you. Yes, it is. Don't call me that, and don't call yourself that. I would love to see me debate E. Michael Jones too, but E. Michael Jones is as big a bitch as the rest of them. They won't debate because they can't debate. They can't expose themselves to being thoroughly defeated in a very gentlemanly and scholarly way. It would wreck their channels because they don't really believe what they say they believe. All right. Speaking is an act of creation. Yes, it is. Every single time you speak, you create. Think about that. Logos is also a feminine noun, which means impossible. Well, I don't know, Scotty. We'll talk about that later. I'm not sure that you're right, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Let's see. What else we got here? Let's see. Got a lot of people being kicked out. That's funny. I'm a bit confused, says Truth Seeker 9261. I'm a bit confused. Maybe you're really not, but maybe you are. Let's see. I'm a bit confused. We're all born divine, sovereign, and free. Yet it's not a good thing to reincarnate back here once again if one is an X-Gen. I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about there. Why would you want to reincarnate back here? So we've got to remain sovereign, steadfast in our sovereignty of thoughts and words. Absolutely, CLC Paint. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can make your own reality like you were meant to be. Yes, you can, Murphys 55. That's what it's all about. Many have their light extinguished. Yes. Knowledge helps you become enlightened. Yes and no. Proper knowledge helps you become enlightened. But you can have a lot of knowledge about a lot of shit that ain't going to help you. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Inspiration with your first breath, Harry repeats, and he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. So then we're born divine and sovereign and free in the matrix. You got it. You got it. You got it. You're born divine, sovereign, and free into whatever this is. And remembering that you are, and see, this is the whole game. You got to remember it's a game. The game is you come in here divine, sovereign, and free. And here's the game. Oh, this is so good. Here, I need to cut this and make a, where are we at? What time-wise? Where am I at time-wise on this? It doesn't even say. Where am I at? How can it not tell me how long I've been here? Something's got it. 47:15. Okay, here's the game. The game is you come into this place divine, sovereign, and free. And the people that run the game are working their best to convince you that you're not divine, sovereign, and free. And you're doing your best to remember that you're divine, sovereign, and free so that you can grow up in this game and remember at the end of the game that you're divine, sovereign, and free. So if you remember at the end of the game, oh yeah, I'm divine, sovereign, and free, you win. If by the end of the game, you have become a sinner saved by grace, you lose. In any form or faction of that, you can't have accepted HERU or Big Daddy into your heart. That's called possession. You can't have prayed a sinner's prayer and let it stick. That's possession. That is, you lose. Why are you so hard against against cross clinging, Jeff? Because if you cling the cross, you can't get out of here. It removes your divinity. It removes your sovereignty. It removes your freedom. You have to say, I'm a sinner. I need your blood to wash over me to set me free. You've got to say that. And if you say that, you lose. That's the game. You come in divine, sovereign, and free. If you can get through this game and remember it at the end, you win. If you get through the game and don't remember at the end, you lose. Just that simple. And that took me to 48:55. All right. Good question. Good question. Let's see. Now I know that line of crap sounds so crazy. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. This is why they search sea and land to make one proselyte, because they need the energy. We talked about that last week. Truth Seeker, can I say it's only unclear because you're making it unclear. It's really, really easy. You got to flush that stuff. If you didn't flush your toilet at home, how long would it be before it became a problem? And is it better to go into a bathroom that's been flushed or one that hasn't been flushed? Flush it. Flush it. Lego my logo, says Steady Eddie. Awesome. Very, very good. Every time I put that code on, I thank you. Thank you so much for it. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. They've been awesome. Thank you, Dawn. We won today. We won again today. The World Health Organization permanently defunded. Bye-bye, bitches. It's over. We won again today. Are you tired of winning yet? No, I like winning. I like winning. We won yesterday with executive order against these people. We won yesterday with, what was the other thing we won yesterday for? Damn, I can't remember what we won. I win so much, I can't remember all the wins anymore. That's just the way it is. And today we win by defunding the World Health Organization. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And usually when you take somebody else's logos, it's counter to your best interest. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Energetic tributes to the fear and guilt control matrix. Keep the illusion going. Absolutely. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. We are taking over, Jason. Absolutely. If history is any indication, oh, this is good, Truth Seeker. The Roaring 20s in 1920, we're going to have the same thing here. I'm telling you, man. It's about to take off. This economy is about to skyrocket. If you have any money to get in the market, and I'm not in the market, boy, I'd be getting in right now, because it's about between now and this time next year, it's going to be like a rocket ship. And I don't give financial advice, so don't blame me. I'm just sharing because somebody said, and that's just what I think. I really do. I really do. If Trump truly is a white Scientologist, I don't know that he is, but I think he's using white Dianetics. Is he feeding off our collective intention to prevent a divergence? He might be. He might be. Or maybe the gloomers and doomers will pop in their own timeline. I don't know, Chase, if they can. It's been 2,000 years, and they haven't been able to manifest anything. How can they all of a sudden now manifest their own timeline? What if we all got together? And speaking of flushing, what if we all got together and just flushed them? How about if we manifested they get flushed to another timeline? Because would this world be better or worse without the cross-clingers? Way better. Way better. That wasn't Helen Reddy. That was Tanya Tucker. Or maybe Helen Reddy sang it, but it was Tanya Tucker's song that made it huge. Let's see. Take your power back. Abso-damn-lutely. I wonder if that's one of the purposes of the Mandela effect. Maybe. Let's see. Every rose has its thorns, just like the crown. What? We can't get into that stuff. We know that ain't true. We know that ain't true. I should have read that more before I started saying it. Maybe I misread it. She was straight out of Tavistock. That's funny. Every rose has its thorns, just like the crown of thorns. Critical thinker, you got to flush that. Speaking of flushing, that crown of thorns, number one, it wasn't real. And number two, it was blood over intent. Number three, it was blood magic. Why? Get rid of that thing, man. That's bad news. Delta Dawn Cross Klinging Dummies, DDCCD. Boom. That's excellent. I had a kung fu moment. Cool. I like those. What else we got? Lots of comments. I really appreciate them. Let's see. I said this channel's getting better with the hours. Excellent, Jeff. You're the best. Thank you, TT. I really appreciate that. We are our own worst enemies. We are, but we're also our best assets. That no problem, Truth Seeker. That's what we're here for. Accept him into your heart, and you signed the contract. Absolutely. Blood over intent. Don't want to do it. That's bad stuff. Cross clingers need to be raptured. Maybe we could set up a rapture. Maybe we could set up a rapture and get rid of them. Oh boy, the only way it won't rebound would be Dim stealing November. I don't think they can do it. As long as we get out there and do what we need to do. Dawn says most of the cross clingers I know have abandoned life anyway. Yep. Good for you. You get better and better. you'll get better and better. The rapture is kidnapping. The rapture is fake. And if they do try to pull it off, it'll be a massive depopulation exercise. So that was good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your attention. And it's so important. We just proved from the AHAK, the B-BLE, that original sin is not what you were born with. You were born with true enlightenment, the very opposite of what they teach you. And they teach you that to keep you locked into a fear and guilt control matrix. And I teach you what I do to free you from that fear and guilt control matrix. Do you want to believe that you're born with original sin when I've just shown you from their book that you're born with the spark of divinity within? Do you want life and life more abundant? Do you want peace that passes all understanding? Free yourself. Let go of the cross. Quit clinging to the cross. Do you never notice it's all about the cross? It doesn't matter how far they get away from being official Christianity, they still want to talk about that cross. Because the cross is the symbol of everything. Human torture. And that cross, this is between you and who you're, this is between you and your higher self, you and your full divinity. But let's put a cross right across the middle of it to stop it in its tracks. It's all about that cross, which was blood and torture and death and dying. You got to give up that cross, man. Quit clinging to that cross. You're the last generation of real humans. You're the last generation of real humans. And we're here to manifest our logos into reality. The way you do that is to realize you're divine, realize you're sovereign, realize you're free. Keep asking questions and then question the answers that you get. That's how you unindoctrinate yourself. And as you start unindoctrinating, you start getting busy. And that's when we win, 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 and win again. For Tracy Dyer and our great moderators, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, saluting you for being here after truth. And Cynthia and I have great respect and care for you. We hope to see you again next time. And until next time, remember, you're not filled with original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. And it's my honor to bring you that message. We'll see you again real soon.